Welcome in. Take a breath. You are among people who get it. Nothing forced, nothing scripted. Just real stories and a space to reflect. You know, there's something powerful about hearing another person's story and realizing somewhere in it, you are not alone. Now that's what the space is all about. The things we're still figuring out, the questions we carry, the moments that changed us, and sometimes in the middle of someone else's story, you find a little more clarity in your own. So, for the next little while, leave the noise outside, put down the pressure to perform, forget about having the perfect response. Just listen, think, take it in, because this is a space to be honest enough to say, this is where I am, and brave enough to keep going from there. So, welcome in, take a breath. You are among people who get it. Let's get to it.
Woman,
mufumakazi,
wansadi,
Musadi.
umfazi,
vrouw.
Mulher.
That is who we are. That is our strength. We are remarkable, brave, capable, unique. We are woman to woman.
Good afternoon, South Africa. Good afternoon, Africa. Believe me, this is our very last special program for the month of August, and I am already missing the month of August because it's so special. Good afternoon to you, Mohadi.
Good afternoon, Mrs. M. Good afternoon to everyone, to all the viewers out there.
We have had a wonderful month with experiences, tears, laughter, and today it will be no different. However, as a characteristic of woman to woman, sometimes we tend to be provocative.
It is true, Miss M.
Confrontational, and challenge you to think out of the ordinary. Today, we have decided to touch on a very sensitive subject. By the title of the show, I was betrayed by W. What is this W all about?
Can imagine.
By women. And how many times we are pushed as women to defend our rights in the society, to conquer our space, and somehow throughout the years and because of past experiences, we tend always to blame men. And we don't make a concession, or we don't open up our vision that sometimes those of our kind, of our nature, of our essence, may be the ones who hurt us. So today, I wanted to invite you to leave your ideas and truths aside, just embark with us during the show.
Yes.
And see a new reality. And at the end of the day, what we wanted to achieve is that we cannot classify by gender and associate with those who will disappoint, hurt, betray, just because of gender. Because it, as a matter of fact, it depends more on character. We are in a mission to prove a point today.
It's true, Miss M. And also you might even be justifying your actions to say, but I'm protecting myself. I'm protecting myself. If I don't protect myself, no one will. But when you protect yourself in the process, you are inflicting pain onto others. So that is not even protection at all.
And you tend to protect yourself against men. But you tend to be vulnerable when you are interacting with women. Is that really protection? But before we go on and we welcome our guests of today,
Yes.
let us see some statements that we have out there. And I'm inviting you to share your opinion. Which statements that we will be publishing now, we were going to stream now, that you relate to. Come on, be courageous like us. So say your mind in our comment section.
It's one thing to be betrayed by an enemy, but what happens when the person who hurts you is the woman you called your equal, your companion, your friend?
She was the first person I called when something happened. The first person I trusted with my secrets. And somehow, she became the person who used them against me.
She knew exactly what my insecurities were. And when we fell out, suddenly, those same insecurities became jokes in other people's group chats.
I introduced her to my friends. I defended her when people warned me about her. I never thought I would have to defend myself from her.
She made me question friendships I trusted, then positioned herself as the only person I could rely on. Then there's the betrayal nobody talks about. When your friend starts a competition with you, your looks, your relationship, your career, your life suddenly feels like a competition you never agreed to enter.
We tend to feel safer with people who understand us, but familiarity doesn't always mean it's safer. Sharing the same gender, background, or experiences doesn't guarantee good character, because ultimately, it's not what someone looks like or what they have in common with us that determines how they will treat us. It is their character. So, trust wisely, set healthy boundaries, and don't let one person's actions teach you to distrust everyone.
Many statements out there, isn't there?
Indeed, yes.
That's why we are confrontational today, Mohadi.
We are.
Because maybe some of them say, the show is not for me today. But we need to prove a point, isn't that?
We do. We're leading people to examine themselves and see the truth about themselves, because some people like to say, no, but I'm defending myself. But in the process, you are inflicting pain onto others, and you're just saying it is what it is. But you're leaving other people with bad experiences. People will be able to refer back to say, so-and-so mistreated me, instead of them empowering me, instead of them guiding me, supporting me, but I got mistreated. And in that sense, we're not teaching.
And we have here today, and we welcome three beautiful ladies. Welcome to Woman to Woman, last Friday of the month of August. And of course, because we speak about real facts, you are going to give the account of situations you have been through. So I'm welcoming Matapelo, Simpiwi, and Precious. And I would like Matapelo to start with you.
My grandmother was she was grounded through culture and believing that men are more dominant than women, and as they are the head, it also grounded in in our chores. It grounded in our marks and a lot. So it came to a point where I was sexually assaulted, and I couldn't speak up because my grandmother was not there, and I knew that she's going to protect them, which actually hurt me.
At what age are we talking about?
I was 11 years old.
11 years old.
Yes.
So you were in the house of your grandmother, and being a woman, it's a grandmother, not a grandfather. Being a woman, she would still believe in the fact that men would have more priorities, more importance.
Yes.
Therefore, you being the granddaughter, a girl, when you came to her and you said that you were sexually assaulted, was it by someone that you knew or someone in the community?
It was somebody that I knew.
Very close.
Yes.
And when you spoke to her, what was her reaction?
I didn't actually speak to her face to face because I had the fear of the unknown, the fear of her reaction. So it was at the moment where we were having a family meeting in the church, because we had a moment where we had to gather and they asked me what was my testimony. And then I actually cried, and then they asked us to be there, and they actually spoke my story to my family, and then their reaction was the same, that she thought that I was lying about the person.
Oh my gosh.
The person cried in front of my grandmother, and I had to change my statement and say that I was lying, and I had to apologize in his face.
Oh my gosh. So you felt like you could not stand by what you spoke, that was the truth, just to avoid further complications.
Yes.
And how did she take it, your grandmother? What was her reaction before you changed your story?
She did not say anything. She did not even flinch. She didn't even react at that moment. She only reacted when we went home, and she said that I wanted to break the family.
So you just had to grow up with the pain?
Yes.
And of course, because of tradition and culture, she had preferences for him.
Yes. At a certain stage, I went to school, so they called the social workers to come and actually address and speak about the issue. And I couldn't control it anymore, and then I just cried. And they asked me, why was I crying? And then I said, no, I was okay. And they spoke to me and they told me that it is a comfortable space where I can actually speak out what I felt and what was happening. So when I spoke out, they actually suggested a surgeon to actually take the case and help me with it. And then they called my mom, because she also knew the situation, but she also had the fear of her mother and what she would say. And then she asked me that they told me about what you told us about when we were there in that family conference, and it's still the same statement. Is it true? And then that was the moment where I actually was able to actually speak out and tell her that it was true.
How old were you by then?
I was 16.
So you kept it as you were the liar for 5 years.
Yes.
Did you overcome that situation?
Yes, I did.
The ones that were supposed to protect you and support you, because you were young, voiceless, she couldn't defend herself, and she didn't know how to deal with that pain. The pain was inside of you, but you didn't know how to go about, and the only way she knew was to speak.
Yeah, and you see that I understand to a certain extent the reaction of the mother. I'm not saying that she would have to take harsh measures against one or protect the other. But in different ways, she would have to cater for the problem with both of you. Of course, he also needed help. It's easy just to point fingers to teenagers, to children, and say they are evil, they are serial killers, rapists. They have a problem. They need help. And I see the position of a mother being torn. However, that made her to be complacent to the situation.
And suppose even the solution maybe might be separating them, because for them to remain living under the same roof might be even more risky. And you would be seeing him every single day, and you haven't dealt with your pain, so you were re-victimized over and over again.
Yeah. Simpiwi, your story goes back to a very dear friend. What happened then?
Yes, good afternoon, Miss Masha. Good afternoon, Miss Mo. Good afternoon to the viewers. Well, my story is a bit different to Matapelo. So I had a friend, a childhood friend, We grew up together from primary school to high school together. She was basically like a sister to me. She was like a family. Then she was working for this retail, and then she said to me, friend, because now that we are working, I think we should work on fixing our credit score because we've never worked before and we don't have credit. So I was like, no, okay, it is a good idea. Then she was like, because I'm working for this retail, you can just give me your ID so that I can try to open an account for you. Then I gave it to her because I trusted her. Like, I had no hesitation whatsoever. And then I gave it to her. And then she came back to tell me that the account was unsuccessful. She said to me, because you never had any credit before, I think maybe that's why they declined your request, because I was not looking for any account. I was like, oh, okay, oh, well and good. To my surprise, Miss Masha, I got a call from debt collector, then say, hi,
Oh my God.
we want to speak to Simpiwe. I'm like, okay, speaking. Then like, we're still waiting for you to pay us the money that you owe us. I'm like, I don't have any account. I don't remember opening any account because at that time, obviously, I didn't think about her. I was concerned about the debt. Then I asked...
You blindly trusted her.
Yes, I trusted her.
Because the bond was more than friendship. It
Yes.
became like sisterhood.
Yes. So, and then after the call, I'm like, okay, I asked, how much am I owing? It was more than 5,600.
How many years are we talking about?
It was more than 5 years ago.
So that would be today a good 8,000 range.
Yes.
With inflation.
Yes. And then they told me that I owe that amount. Then I told them that, no, I don't remember myself opening any account with you guys. I don't remember. They were like, yes, you were at this shop at this time. This is how much you took. And then they didn't disclose everything on that call because they were doing investigation. So like the call was back and forth. I also tried to find out, sending emails, what was happening, what happened. And then they tried to access their CCTV to find out what was happening, but like they couldn't. But what they did was to let me know what I took. So apparently I took techies, I took, branded clothes and stuff. So I was like, I don't own those items. I don't remember myself going to any shop to take those things. Then the debt collector just advised that I go to the police station to open a statement, have a case of fraud, and then they will take it from there. I'll send the affidavit, the case number to them via email. So while I was sitting down trying to travel back to everything that had happened, I remember having a conversation with her that she suggested that I open an account. So I'm like, no ways. Let me just call this friend and find out. So what I did is I called her because I was still at work at that time. Everything just happened. Just wanted to find answers. I couldn't even wait to go home so that I can go to her place and ask. So I called. I'm like, friend, remember there was a time I gave you my ID and then you said that the account was unsuccessful. What happened? Then she was like, yes, friend, it wasn't unsuccessful. Remember, they said you don't have any credit background, so they couldn't open an account for you. Then I was like, okay, it's strange because I received a call from a debt collector calling from this shop saying that I am owing an amount. So I'm actually like shocked. How did that happen? And then she was like, I am also shocked. I don't know what happened.
Gosh.
So I'm like, okay, in that case, but don't worry because they are still investigating. So they've requested me to go to the police station to open a case of fraud, and then they will, so that they will be able to access the CCTV because they cannot access the CCTV without the case number. So they need a case number. So don't worry. If you are saying you don't have any idea, I think they will investigate and they will actually find the person that used my details to open an account. Then she was like, friend, I have something to tell you. So I'm like, okay. And then she's like, I'm suggesting that you don't go to the police station. I think I will help because remember, I'm working for this retail and I have power to make sure that you don't pay the amount. So I don't think you should go to the police to open a case. We can solve this problem together. I was like, no, solve how? Because I think the only people that can solve this is the police and the people that are trying to help me. Because if I told them that this was a fraud case, why will I withdraw? Why will I try to change my story? Because she was just like suggesting me to change my story and say, no, I think I know where it came from and stuff. And then she will be able to help me in some way to pay off the debt. So I was like, no, friend, I think I need to go at the right way, go via police station, investigate the matter so that we can find the person that has done this to me. Then that's when she said, friend, I have a confession. I would lose my job if you go and confront the police. Can we please talk about this? I was so desperate. I'm very sorry that I had to do that. I was gonna tell you. I was gonna pay the debt. I was gonna, sit you down and tell you about the whole
The
situation.
fact is, she didn't pay the debt up until that moment that they called you.
And she wanted to cover up her tracks.
Yes.
And who knows doing what.
Yeah.
Then, did she pay the debt?
Unfortunately, she didn't. What she did, Miss Marsha, was she resigned. She was working for that retailer, remember? So she just wrote a resignation letter because, she calculated that, okay, now I'm going to go to the police station. They are going to see the CCTV. They're going to see that it's her. And then she decided to just write a resignation letter and send it through. Because while we're still going through the investigation, I got a call from the manager. She didn't tell me about the plan to resign. She didn't tell me that she resigned. I only got to find out after, when I spoke to the manager, when they apologized, to say, this person has resigned, and then we've decided that your case will go through our insurance. There's no need for you to pay the debt. And then this person...
That was great.
Yes, this person has resigned, and then we are just going to make sure that she's not going to get any job for our branch, on our branches and everything, because we see that what she did was just against the
Are you
law
still
as well.
friends with her?
No.
And now we have Precious, and that goes for Love Life. And the title of our program today starts with Betrayed.
Betrayal.
How hard it is when it is related to love life. Precious tells us your story.
I would like to greet you, Mrs. Marsha Mukhadi,
Yes.
our guest, and the viewers. So my story goes, I was betrayed by my friend. So we've been friends for 6 years. Our friendship started in college. So at college, it's simple to be friends because you guys don't have a lot of experience. So we were comfortable with each other, and then we grew up, started working, and then I met this guy through her actually. So now I was dating this guy. We just met with the guy. Our relationship was just starting to build up by that time, and she was also dating the friend of the guy, and I was so open about my life to her because we were very close. We'll do everything together. We used to travel together. So she was very a very dear person to me. So this other time when I was home, she called me and then she's like, I want to tell you something. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then she's like, this guy, it happens that we are dating. I'm like, whoa, wait. let us go back. And at first I thought maybe it's more of like a prank. So I'm like, okay, let's go back. What do you mean that you are dating? She's like, no, I'm being serious. So I'm like, okay,
So wait, he was dating you?
Yes, he was dating me.
And then she calls you to say that now they were dating.
They are dating.
Are we understanding that correct?
Exactly, that's how it went. And then I'm like, okay, I don't know how, when, because you don't have this guy's numbers. He doesn't have your numbers. So how did you guys get to meet up and start dating? And because now that you are saying it means that it's a solid relationship, because you wouldn't confess if it's something that was not going to be anything. So then she's like, no, remember that. So it was the three of us as friends. She's like, remember that our other friend, her boyfriend was coming up to meet up with her. So when the boyfriend went to her, she went with my boyfriend. And then when they got there, so it's like my friend is also there and the other friend is there. So while the other two couple is speaking, they just happened to speak, and when they were speaking, it's like maybe they liked each other. So I'm like, okay, it means that you guys were bored. You didn't know what to do with your time. You started conversating, and you started liking each other. And then she's like, yeah, that's how it happened. And I'm like, okay, I get that you spoke with the guy, but you, my friend. So
To
now,
speak is one thing.
Yeah.
To start dating, it's very different.
I'm like, you actually my friend. You know me. Like, so why would you take such a decision? And in my mind, I'm like, I didn't think we like the same people. When did you start liking the same people? And I'm like, okay, so this dating of you guys, is it gonna go like, because you know when you have questions and you also want to answer yourself and you don't know why this thing is happening, and now it's like, okay, what's gonna happen to our friendship? What's gonna happen now? Like, I'm just trying to ask her questions, and I don't even think she had answers for me at that moment. She was just being apologetic about it. So I'm like, okay, you apologizing is because you guys are going to be dating now. Like, yeah, we are. And I think what also broke me was that, remember that we are also couples. So now we'd plan like vacations. So I'm like, what's going to happen now to this vacation of ours? Like, how are we going to go on a vacation of couples if already the person that I'm dating, you are dating? So now what's
The series Polygamist is just in Netflix now. That happened some time ago, isn't that?
Yes.
So they dated behind your back for how long?
I really do
Before
not
she
know.
confessed.
I don't, like, I think, you know, when somebody's confessing to you, your mind is just like,
I need to understand also, what did he tell you?
the guy didn't tell me anything because, and after she told me the confession, 2 days after, the guy came to me and I was looking at him and he was okay.
Pretending.
Yeah, like he was just okay. And I'm like, is this guy like being serious? Like, what's happening here? And then he's continuing with the plans that we have for the couple's vacation. I'm like, okay, we're still going on a couple's vacation. So it's like I'm in the middle and people have their own things going on, and somehow they're just trying to fool me, and I don't even know now where I fit in this whole thing that's going on, because I don't know how to react with all of it. And I think with my friendship with my friend, it's the thing that when you are friendships are like deep, like they're deep things. Like you guys will tell each other everything. If I'm going through this pain, my friend will be the first one to know. If I was heartbroken, my friend will be the first one to know. 2 a.m. I'm calling my friend. So for me, it was like, why now is my friend doing this thing to me? So, and after like the confession part went on, I think I just dozed off from her. And I could not like say, Guti, what's going to happen? And then I was like, hey, you know that.
No, but I wanted to find out, what did you do with this guy? Did you chase him out of the house? Did you shout at him? Did you ask for explanation? Did you break up?
I did not even ask for an explanation. So after that guy came to me, and then he's saying, it's like, we're still going to go on a vacation. I'm like, yeah, we are. I'm okay with everything. And then that guy left. And then when he called me, I never answered. I'm like, I'm not going to be part of the conversation. So when he called me, like, I never answered. Then he'll send me messages. I just like, I'm not going to answer. Because for me, it was like, you are doing things behind my back. So I'm also going to leave in suspicion because I didn't know that you have interest for my friend. So don't know what's happening in my life also. So
how long was it? How many years?
It was 6 years ago.
At least.
So as she was confiding to the friend was using the details to step up, to get closer to the guy.
I think so.
So that's why boundaries are important.
And I never had any.
Yeah.
Now, I have one question that I think I know the answer. Between the betrayal of your friend and his betrayal to you, which one was more shocking?
My friend.
Okay, we leave at that because we're coming back with them. But now, since we're talking about confessions, we brought to you some confessions from both sides. Those who were wronged, but those who wronged other women. Let us listen to that.
My older sister, she's working and I'm not working. Last month, in her place of work, there were vacancies available for job opportunities. So she didn't tell me about it. She told the people who are not related to her about it and helped them to get a chance to that job opportunity. Even though she knows that I need work, I'm suffering, I need money, but she didn't tell me about it. So I felt so disappointed and betrayed.
I was a bit younger, and my so-called best friend and cousin as well, we were partying together, and there was rumors that this one guy made of me, saying that me and him, we slept together, and that was not true at all. My best friend believed me because she knew me, but my cousin, my so-called friend as well, she agreed with the guy that made these rumors, and she was talking behind my back, agreeing with them, laughing with them as well. That guy's friends came to tell me what my cousin was telling them about me, also making up stories about me. And that really hurt me because I really felt betrayed. Here was my cousin, we grew up together, and she was spreading these rumors about me, and she knew that it was not true. And I couldn't get over the fact that she was trying to impress these guys, but not having my back at the end of the day, which was her family. I do not associate with her anymore because I already saw that was her personality. And yeah, I keep her at a distance.
Morad, we can clearly hear the disappointment.
Yes, indeed. But then it's amusing because maybe the family member, because they were family, the family member was afraid of, no, she will outshine me. And maybe she was threatened. That's why she didn't expose the post through to her, tell her that there's a position at hand, and she knew that she needed the money. So it's all about insecurities, Ms. M. She was insecure, and therefore, for her, it was best to help the outsiders than help within the family.
That's sad, isn't that?
It is.
It's a lot of pain that goes with the disappointment and betrayal. So I said that we would come back to our guests because now I wanted to hear from them. Yes. What happened to you, Matapelo? How did it affect you?
It affected me so much that I had low self-esteem. I did not see myself better, and I changed. My personality changed. At school, also the way I dressed, I did not aspire to dress like females anymore. I was comfortable and saying that I was categorizing myself as a tomboy because I thought that if I categorize myself closer to male, then maybe I'll be accepted.
And you have more value.
Yes.
How was your feeling, your thoughts, the way on your heart on account of your grandmother and your mother?
I was very hurt a lot because I thought that they are there for me. They have to at least hear what I wanted to say and what I had to say, but I was really hurt.
Did it make your vision of women change in some way?
Yes, it did. Especially on my granny's side, it did a lot. I did not trust anything and anyone, both male and female, but mostly female because I felt betrayed.
Did it also make you feel like the males are more important than the females?
Yes, it did. It did, because everything had to change. The chores, I was the only one who was doing everything in the house, and they had to rest, they had to sleep. And a lot, also the comparison at school, it was a lot, because yes, I would aspire to do better, because I was like, okay, if at least I do something better at school, maybe they will acknowledge me. If I change like this, maybe they'll acknowledge me, but still it did not change.
I have a difficult question. How did you feel towards that meeting? That was a family meeting inside of a church, and you had to lie, change your statement. Did it somehow made you to doubt religious authorities, God, faith somehow?
It didn't. It didn't, because one thing that my mom had always taught me is that only God can answer your prayers. I did not question anything. I just looked at it as it's an opportunity. One day I will speak about it, and I will be comfortable about it. So I did not have any sadness or doubts after that.
But by then you didn't have any reserves about churches, ministers, family meetings?
I did not trust anybody, actually. I did not want to speak about it.
So today, in other words, today you are fine.
Yes.
But by then, it brought you some reserves.
Yes.
Simpiwe, how did you feel about this best friend of yours, a sister? What was in your mind? What was the pain that brought about to you?
Miss Masha, I felt so betrayed because I trusted her and we built our friendship from childhood. So I never thought it will happen in any day that she would do such a thing. So I was so disappointed in her. I was also disappointed in myself that how could I be so naive to even trust someone with my identity document.
Was it hard to forgive her?
I think what made it hard was I went to her home because obviously her mother knows me, her family knows me. So I respected them to go there and tell them about the whole situation.
You had to do it.
Yes, because I didn't want them to just assume that, okay, our friendship broke off because of this and this and that. I just wanted them to know what specifically happened. So when I went to her home, I expected her to be remorseful about the situation and ask for forgiveness. But what I got was, she was not even apologetic about the situation. And the irony about this situation is that her mother sided with her. So the only person that sided with me was her grandfather, who even shouted at her that, how could you do such a thing? But the mother was just, even after that family meeting, she never spoke to me ever again. So I think because I was going to forgive the whole situation. It was going to be easier, not that hard for me to forgive the situation since when I was not going to pay the debt anyway. But what made the situation tricky was when her mother just sided with her and not spoke to me. So I was like, okay, am I the person who's wrong? Am I wrong for confronting them about the situation? Was I right by just going there and telling them about what happened? So I started questioning, did she even know about this whole thing? Because you siding with your daughter makes me think that it was a pair thing that you worked together to make sure that you take those items from that shop, So I asked myself a lot of questions. I was very hurt by how she handled the situation. She didn't even pretend to say, hey, why did you do such a thing? And then maybe apologize to me. Then afterwards, maybe side with her daughter. But she was just, clear about where she stands. And I was so disappointed.
So did you question the love and if the friendship was genuine? Because you might have loved her, you might have been genuine. But when it came to her, maybe she saw an opportunity, to take advantage, or maybe she was close to you with ulterior motives.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Actually, I questioned her love. I questioned her intentions. I saw that if I continue on this friendship with her, she might even do something that is worse than that. If she was capable of doing that, chances are she will even sell me.
Yeah, because She committed a fraud with your ID, and she tried to cover up. And we don't know what she would have done if you would just accept her suggestion. No, I will fix here because I will work here. And who knows if she was not going to commit fraud again.
Again, yes.
Now, you forgave her. What was the result of that experience? For yourself, I would say against yourself, that kind of precaution, because you also blamed yourself. I was so innocent, careless. Which behavior was triggered because of that bad experience?
Okay, so Miss Masha, I've got to realize something about myself, that I can be so naive and trust so easily. So after that incident, I think I just told myself that I need to be wiser. I need to discern, because in as much as I can be friends with you for a long period of time, but that doesn't take away the fact that I need to still discern. I still need to have boundaries. So I started, making sure that I calculate who I am worth, and I just don't trust easily, especially with my documents and everything about my life. I just need to, because sometimes because you trust yourself and you know that you are loyal, you expect yourself on the other person.
Yeah.
So in a way, because I knew that I would never betray a friend, I never thought that that friend will betray me, because I saw myself in them. But after that incident, I just learned never. As the Bible says, I think there's a Bible in the book of Matthew that says, be wise like a serpent and be humble like a dove.
Yeah.
And you had to put that in practice because of that incident,
Yes,
isn't that?
Yes.
So, Precious, tell us, how did you pick yourself up from that situation? Because you were loyal to her, but then she betrayed your loyalty. And you were a friend to her, but maybe she was not regarding you as a friend.
True. So now, from that moment on, I was like, not gonna have friends anymore. But that was so difficult because remember, we have this one friend who's in between. So now, what made me is that even with this one, I had to take precautions. And now it was so difficult for me because most of the time, for example, if I would go out, I would send her a live location to say, good friend, I'm here. Just in case something happens to me, you know where I'm at. So now I don't have anyone to speak with. I don't have nobody to send live locations to say, good, make sure that I'm safe by this time. So, and I think what that situation of friendship did to me is that it took me back to my primary school days, because what happened in primary was that I was never that kid in terms of friendship. So because I'll always find, growing up, girls who are light skinned will be considered. So most of the time, I don't know why light skinned girls would choose me as a friend. So it will happen, most guys that I wanted, they'll want my friends. So I was always at the back, So, and when I grew older, I thought I overcame that thing. So when this situation happened, I was like, here it is again. Somebody picking somebody over me. And my friend actually accepting it, because now we are more wiser. In primary, we are just naive, we're just kids. But now we are more wiser, we have choices to make. So it brought me back. Now I had to look at myself. I'm like, okay, now I want to be more taller, because she was more taller than me. So I'm like, maybe it's because of the height. Maybe it's because of this. So now I used to look at myself in them. I'm like, if I was more taller, God, this was never going to happen in my life.
Oh, God.
Because now guys prefer maybe it's the height thing, or maybe it's the way that maybe she's speaking, outspoken. I'm not that outspoken person. I speak when it's necessary to do so. She just gels easily. So I'm like, maybe if I just gel with people easily, then it's going to be more simple. And then that affected me, because now I would want to find myself in spaces with everyone, mostly trying to gel with people, and I would lose myself trying to do that, because I'm trying to fit in now with people. When I get to a place, I want to be the most noticed one now. And with appearances, and then now you start buying friendship to be cool, but not for deep friendships. So that's what happened with me at that point.
And did you have other relationships after that one? And how did you act within those relationships?
I did a lot. Because it's like, when you're ahead, you're just going from one to one to one to one. Like
Trying to prove
yes,
a point.
Yeah, just in case this one does something, at least I have this backup. I cannot be left not knowing what's happening. Just in case it decides to betray me, at least I have a backup. So now with each and every relationship that I'll be involved in, nobody knew. I was just like, this is my relationships. I would go alone. Like if it's like I'll go as if like I'm going to a supermarket, but I'm going to meet my boyfriend. Like I was not even telling my mom. Like, Mom, like, where are you? I'm like, no, I'm just around. I was not telling anyone about people that I was seeing at that time. I wouldn't make comments about dating. It's just like you are trying to hide people that you are seeing. So because I'm like, you tell that you are dating, the next thing you know, you are single because somebody is trying to steal away your boyfriend. So I'm like, I'm not going to be having that anymore. So that's how I was operating from that moment on. Like, it's my relationships now. No sharing, nothing. Are you dating anyone? No, I'm not. I'm not dating anyone. Why are you single? No, I know I'm not. But I knew that I'm seeing people. So
she was still operating from the pain.
Yeah.
And even hurting others in the process.
Yeah. Now, I have one question. That's the final one.
Yes.
Do you think that in all the situations that you have had, these incidents, very serious ones with Matapelo and others, the fact that it was another woman that imposed on you the betrayal, lack of trust, disappointment, hurt the most?
I think so. You know why? Because women, we understand each other's pain. So that's
in principle we should.
Yeah. Supposed to. So for me, it's like you would feel the way that I'm feeling. So why are you stepping on my toes? Like, I am sensitive. You're also sensitive. And as Simpia was saying that I would not do that to you because that's not how I operate. So I take it from a point of how I would feel as a woman. I expect that you'd know because we are also, it's like, for me, it's like we are built from the same tree. So what do you mean that you wouldn't know that I'll be hurt? So for me, it hurts more. I think if it's a man, it's like, I don't know how men think, so I would never know. And I know how most we think as women. So I'm like, we are sensitive, we gel to things. So for me, it's like, why would you do that? You know this will break me to my last. If you were in this situation, you were going to break. But now then, why are you breaking me?
Matapelo, do you think if you would have run to a male figure and been betrayed the way you were by your grandmother, it would have hurt less? Because at the end of the day, you would say it's a man covering up for another man.
Yeah, I think it was going to be the same. It's going to be, I think I wouldn't take it the same way as a woman because I understand that a woman has to understand how I feel.
Especially someone that is blood related.
They have to understand how I feel because we go through the same thing. Even if we have different emotions, but you can understand when I am hurting like that.
Did you forgive her?
Yes, I did.
Mohadi, now, you know that since the beginning of August, we have introduced to this program a new fragment because we are giving the opportunity to the viewers to make questions for us. And today, we have a question that goes perfect in line with the topic of our program, and we are going to offer that to you.
Yes.
So let us watch her question.
My name is Alvida and I'm from Upington. And the question that I have for Woman to Woman is, since we are living in a society where women are in competition with each other, we are conditioned to be in competition with each other. We are conditioned to tear each other down rather than build each other up. I want to know, how can I implement in my daily life as a woman, at work, at home, at school? How can I change the mindset of society into building and uplifting my fellow woman, just like I've learned that Woman to Woman has been doing over the years, is a sisterhood? How can I implement, or what steps can I take in order for me to also uplift another woman in my daily life?
Thank you so much for your question. For starters, you just need to understand it's not about women tearing one another. It doesn't have to do with gender. You know, men and women can tear one another, but you just have to make a soul decision and to do things differently. Change your mentality. Don't be in competition with anyone. Don't strive, to prove a point to anyone. Just start being a peacemaker and tell it to yourself to be, a supporter and build other women, because it starts with you. You can't change the society or change other people, but you can bring a change to yourself. So it starts with you making that soul decision to say, I'm going to start empowering, supporting whoever that is close to me, even if others are tearing one another down, but I will do differently. And where it requires correction, then you apply it, but gently so. So it starts with you.
And now we are going to look into God's point in this. And I bring to you part of a story in the Word of God from David, who felt betrayed. So don't look necessarily at David as a man being maybe betrayed by another man. As we said, as Mohadi well said, it is a matter of character. But anyway, let us read it. It is in Psalm 55 from verse 12 to verse 14. For it is not an enemy who reproaches me. And I think we could quite relate to the fact that in the three cases we brought today, they were not enemies. They were not unknown people. Rather, very close to them. Then I could bear it. You don't expect to be disappointed by those who are very close to you. You may even expect from those whom you don't know. You don't have a relationship. You don't have a friendship. You are not related by blood. So he says, I could have endured it. Nor, it's not one who hates me, who has exalted himself against me. Then I could hide from him. That shows that when it's someone we don't know or someone we have a sense, the person does not like us, we are more protective of ourselves. We hide from that situation. And he continues in verse 13 saying, but it was you, a man my equal, my companion, my acquaintance. Can you feel the tone of disappointment from the words of David? He could expect from his enemies, but he could not expect from Saul, who became a father figure for him, who was somehow his mentor, who was someone who even gave him the daughter to marry. He could not expect from his counselor of war, people who were very close to that, he lowered his guard. And that made the disappointment even bigger. And he concludes in verse 14 saying, we took sweet counsel together. Now, after watching the testimony of these three ladies, you can only imagine they had sweet counsel together. Counsel of family roots, friendship, love life. And he says, and walked to the house of God in the throng, among the people, among the crowds. They were together. So it also shows that you may have been disappointed by someone who was even in the church, who had a position in the church, who had a title, who seemed to be someone as a mentor for you. And all of a sudden, you lowered your guard and you were disappointed. Fact is, you cannot cling to that disappointment. Because if you keep on reading, though we sensed bitterness or frustration in his tone, you are going to see that afterwards he understood that he needed to forgive. To forgive not because of the person necessarily, but to forgive so that he would have the ability to trust in people again. As we said, it's not a matter of gender, it's a matter of character. And not every person, men or women alike, are evil. There are those of very good heart, very good character, godly, that really want the best for you. And just raising your walls, and now because of bitterness of past experiences, you judge everyone as the same. Everyone wants to take advantage. Everyone will betray me. Everyone will lie. You may lose the opportunity of having true friends, of bonding with people from God who will bless you. Our invitation today was for you to open your understanding. We cannot look at men and think they will disappoint and expect the worst from them, because there are men out there of character. Think about men of God that you know, your husband, your child. And you cannot only look at women and say, I can be an open book because she understands me. We have the same nature. She might not have the same character of God. But the most important point is, do not allow your past experiences to determine how you are going to conduct your next experiences. Because if you raise your wall of protections too high, you may lose the opportunity of have great friendships, of being mentored by people of God who will bless your life. Mohadi, can you pray for us today to give thanks for this wonderful month of August, and also that the discernment of the Holy Spirit is the one who will guide in every situation.
True. Let us pray. My God and my Father, in the name of your Son Jesus, we give you thanks, Lord, for this program, because you have enlightened the minds of many. We pray in particular if there's anyone who's been operating from a hateful place and they've been mistreating others, my God, may you help them to change, to see themselves and to let go of this behavior so that they can stop drifting away from their purpose, drifting away from you. May you make them realize that it's not worth it to inflict pain onto others, but we're supposed to live in harmony. We're supposed to empathize and support, and even when correction is needed, we're supposed to cater. I pray for each one of the viewers, Lord, that may you help them to represent you wherever they go. We thank you for this month of August. We thank you for revealing yourself upon our ways and our lives. We thank you, Lord, for helping us to live our purpose as women. We give you thanks, and we ask you that keep being at work, keep using each and every one of us so that your name can be glorified further and further. We surrender all in your hands, and we thank you. Amen.
Amen. So, ladies, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. And I am sure you all have forgiven.
Yes,
and
definitely.
You are prepared to meet wonderful people because the discernment of God is upon you. So do not hold on and look at people saying, oh, she's going to do that against me. Okay? As for you, we wish the same. And hope to be hands in hands with you now with this beautiful month of September, because I always wish that spring is not only a season, but it become true in your life. Until then, God bless you all. Bye-bye.
The first step to healing is simply reaching out. If you or someone you know needs support, email woman-to-woman@uckg.org.za or call 0800 330 320. Our toll-free helpline offers confidential, non-judgmental support.